for number 8, they ask us to solve it with the elimination method. Guys, if we're doing the elimination method, that's where we line everything up and we want to get a variable to cancel. So if I look at these two equations right now, are the x's lined up vertically? Yeah. Are the y's lined up? Yeah. The equal signs are lined up, and so are the plain old numbers. So I can go ahead now and do the elimination method. Before I start adding, is something going to cancel? Is one of those variables, not the plain number, but one of the variables? Well, yeah, right here, this 0.2x and negative 0.2x, guys, if you add 0.2 and negative 0.2, they get you 0. So they're gone. Now, 0.5y and negative 0.6y. I don't know why, but guys, sometimes decimals mess with me. So I'm getting my calculator and I'm going to put in 0.5 minus 0.6 and hit equals. And it's negative 0.1. Okay, so I'm going to bring that down as negative 0.1y is equal to. Now, back to my calculator, I'm going to put 0.6, and I could put plus negative 1.4 or just minus 1.4. But 0.7 minus 1.4 is going to get us a negative 0.7. Okay, so the magic happened. One of those variables canceled. Now, I've only got one letter left. I can come in and solve it for y. Guys, isn't this negative 0.1 times y? So I'm going to divide by negative 0.1 on both sides. That's going to get me y is equal to, back to this lovely calculator, negative 0.7 divided by negative 0.1 gets me a 7. Okay, so that's good. I now know what my y is equal to. Well, guys, once you've solved for that y, once you've got this part, don't you bring it back up into one of the equations? And it doesn't matter which equation. I know most of you like to plug it into the top, so that's what I'm going to do. Now, I've got what y is equal to, so it's going to go in for the y value. So I'm going to start with 0.2x plus 0.5, but instead of writing y, I'm going to write 7. Then I'm going to keep going with equals 0.7. So I just rewrote this entire equation, but instead of the y, I put in the 7. Now we're going to simplify. Guys, the 0.2x stays put. It's the 0.5 times 7 that I'm going to do in my calculator. When I type it in, I get 3.5. So I'm going to bring that down as plus 3.5, and it's going to be equal to 0.7. I know, you hate the decimals. Well, decimals aren't bad, but just don't lose a decimal point, okay? When you're solving it, we've got 0.2x plus 3.5. Get rid of the tag along. Get rid of that 3.5. So we're going to minus 3.5 on each side. On this side, the 3.5's cancel, leaving 0.2x, and it's going to be equal to, now on the other side, I've got 0.7 minus 3.5. And that gets me negative 2.8. So I'm going to bring that down. If you go back to the side with the x, those two numbers are being multiplied, so I'm going to divide by 0.2. On both sides, divide by 0.2. That's going to give me x is equal to. Then, lovely calculator, negative 2.8 divided by 0.2. Don't forget, when you're dividing, the top number goes in the calculator first. And guys, x is going to be equal to negative 14. Well, I have my x and I have my y, but I need to write my final answer, which y'all know is going to be an ordered pair. I hope you know that. And it has to be the y value, then, whoa, what am I saying? It's got to be the x value, then the y value. The ordered pairs go x, comma, y. So your final answer there is negative 14, comma, 7.